let us look at the types or the basic types of organic reaction, which comprise of substitution reaction, addition reaction, elimination reaction, and rearrangement reaction. So let us check it now. Types of organic reaction. So what are the types of organic reaction we have? The first one, we have substitution reactions. The second one, we have addition reaction. The third one, we have elimination reaction. The fourth one, we have rearrangement reaction. So these are the what? The basic types of organic reaction we have. All other reactions we have in organic chemistry, they are under these four types. So I would like to take it one after the what? Other. So let me start from what? Substitution reaction. Substitution reaction. So what is substitution reaction? Substitution reaction, this is a type or this is a reaction. Is a reaction in which an atom and what? An atom or group of atom, group of what? Of atom of the reactant. They are what? Reactant molecule are substituted are what? Substituted by another atom or group of atom. If you are talking of substitution reaction, is a reaction in which what? If you have A and B are a compound or molecule, and we have atom C react with it. If it's substitution reaction, this C will substitute, will replace B here. You now have what? A C plus B. So what happened in substitution reaction now? We use what? C to substitute for what? For B, to replace B. That's the substitution reaction. And mind you, the hybridization of the original compound here E is sp3, and after this C replace B, the hybridization still remain what? sp3. That is, in substitution reaction, there is no change in what? In hybridization of the what? Of the reaction. And then what are the examples of substitution reaction? In this class, I will give you just 3 examples of substitution reaction. The first one, I will explain halogenation reaction, I will explain nitration reaction, and I will explain alkylation of benzene. So the first one under this substitution reaction that I would like to treat is what? Halogenation reaction. Let's look at halogenation reaction. Halogenation reaction. Please, what is halogenation reaction? The word halogenation reaction simply means what? The addition of what? Of halogen. The addition of halogen into a what? A compound. We call it what? Halogenation what? Reaction. The halogenation reaction, once again, I said, is what? Addition of what? Of halogen. That is, the halogenation reaction means what? Addition of what? Halogen. What are the halogen? We have what? Chlorine, bromine, and what? And iodine. So addition of what? Of halogen compound into any organic compound, we call it what? Halogen what? Nation reaction. But if, yes, we call it what? Halogenation reaction. That is halogen. Halogenation reaction is what? Addition of what? Of halogen family into a compound. But note, if the halogen we are added is what? Is chlorine. So the reaction, we call it what? Chlorination reaction. If the halogen I'm added is what? Bromine. We call it what? What? Bromination reaction. If halogen I'm added is what? Is iodide. We call it what? Iodination reaction. The fluorine, we call it what? Fluorination reaction. And it's not included here because it's highly what? Reactive. Let me give you example of halogenation reaction. Let us look at what? The halogenation of this compound, alkane. The substitution reaction of what? Of alkane. If you halogenate a what? Alkane plus what? Halogen. The alkane plus what? Plus halogen. And the reaction, what do we call the reaction name? Call it what? Halogenation reaction. So what is the first member of alkane? Let me use what? Methane, CH4, react with what? With halogen. Halogen is what? Is Cl molecule. Abi? If I take Cl molecule here, react with what? Methane. This is what? Methane. This compound here is what? Is methane. Methane. What is the hybridization? S what? sp3. And this is chlorine. So when methane reacts with what? With chlorine, the product of the reaction is what? CH what? 3Cl plus HCl. It will give us what? Chloro what? The product here is what? Methane. The hybridization for this chloromethane is also what? sp3. So as a result, in substitution reaction, I said it earlier, there's no change in what? In the hybridization of the what? Of the molecule in the both reactant site and the product site. So when we get to the mechanism of reaction, I will explain this in what? In details. So this is what? The first example of what? Substitution reaction. The next one, let us look at what? Nitration reaction. What? Nitration. nitration reaction. The nitration reaction is a what? Is a addition of what? Of HNO3 into a what? Into a compound. The addition of HNO3 into a what? A compound is called nitrate. Excuse me. Nitration reaction. So whenever you are having what? Nitration reaction, if you add what? NH3 to N organic reaction, it will give you what? Nitro of that compound. And the product that is liberate is also what? NO2. Let's look at the example of it. If you have what? Let me use alkene 2. Methane. If methane reacts with H what? NO3 nitration, the product here is what? CH3 NO2 plus NO2 gas. So the reactant we have here is what? Methane with sp3 hybridization. This HNO2 that we add to it to make it nitration. Here we have what? Nitro what? Methane. Abi? And the hybridization is also what? sp3. So this reaction is also called what? It's called nitration. But don't forget, the nitration of alkane, it occurs at high temperature. This reaction requires what? More heat and high what? Temperature before it can what? It can take place. So the last reaction of substitution reaction that I will give you here is alkylation. Alkylation of alkylation reaction. So if I said alkylation reaction, it's also known as what? And this reaction is very common in what? In benzene. Yes. Common in what? In benzene is the reaction of alkyl halide, in addition of what? Of alkyl halide into an what? An hydrocarbon. What is alkylation? Is addition of alkyl halide. Addition of what? Of alkyl halide is called what? Alkylation reaction. But the good example that I will use here, I will use what? The alkylation of what? Of benzene. Is the reaction between alkyl halide and what? And benzene in the presence of Lewis acid to produce what? Alkyl benzene and hydrogen halide. So the alkylation, I said what? Addition of what? Of alkyl halide. So if I take what? Benzene as the example here, this is benzene. If this benzene, we have here, take benzene as what? As a case of study. If benzene, this is the benzene ring, good. This is what? Benzene. We have benzene, good. And this benzene now reacts with alkyl halide. When benzene reacts with what? Alkyl halide. The halide here, it will be chlorine, it will be bromine, it will be fluorine. Abi? It reacts with what? Alkyl halide in the presence of what? Lewis what? Lewis acid. When I use Lewis acid, let me use what? Aluminium chloride. Yeah? If you use aluminium chloride as catalyst there, you will have what? Benzene will later lead to what? To this structure. Yes. It's like a mini structure. And this alkene here, you know, we have one hydrogen here. The hydrogen we have here will come to the what? To the halogen. The alkene replace the hydrogen. Because we call it what? Substitution what? Reaction. So here we have what? Alkene here plus HX. But we can let me remove this alkene and put what? One element. If it's benzene, the benzene ring is this structure, and we have what? Alkene what? Alkene halide. Let me use methyl chloride. So if you have methyl chloride here, then we have what? Methyl chloride here. And I'm using what? Aluminium chloride as Lewis what? Lewis acid. So draw the benzene ring here again. We have this methyl will replace hydrogen here. The methyl will attach to this end to give us what? Methylbenzene, which is what? Toluene, and plus what? HCl. The hydrogen that is this methyl replaced here, so react with chlorine to form this. So this is what we call what? To what? Toluene. The product form here is what we call methyl what? Methyl ben what? Benzene or toluene. This is what? Benzene. So that is all about for what? Substitution reaction. You can see that is what? In substitution reaction, the C replace B. So what is C here? Is chlorine. Replace one hydrogen here, we have what? CH3Cl. So the hydrogen that is replaced here, we add to one chlorine amine here, X here. The same thing happens to the what? To the nitration reaction. And the same thing happens to the what? Alkylation what? Reaction. So we are done with what? Substitution reaction. The next one is addition reaction. So let's treat addition reaction. Addition. Addition what? Reaction. What is addition reaction? The type of what? Of organic reaction in which two compounds are react together to form a single compound. Two compounds are react together to form a single compound. That is addition what? Addition reaction. And one of the reaction, reactant particle must be must be double bond. Let me put it down here. Addition reaction. In this type, of reaction, in this type of what? Of reaction, two compounds react to form a single compound, to form a what? A single compound. And one of the reactants usually carries a double or triple, carry a what? A double or what? Triple bond. What is addition reaction? In this addition reaction, we have A react with what? With B to give us what? A, B. I said it before. In this type of reaction, two compounds react to form a single compound. addition. But one of the reacting particle must carry what? Double or triple bond. So what are the example of addition reaction? The example of this addition reaction, there are many. There are what? But there are many. Let me start from number one. Example of addition reaction. I would like to treat what we call halogenation reaction. Halogenation what? Reaction is the one of the example of what? Addition reaction. We have hydrogenation reaction. Hydrogen what? Nation reaction. After hydrogenation reaction, we also have hydration reaction. Yes. We have what? Hydration reaction. And after hydration reaction, we also have hydrohalogenation reaction. We have hydrohalogenation reaction. After hydrohalogenation reaction, this is 4. Let me just treat this word. This 4. If we are saying halogenation reaction, I've said it before. This one simply means what? Addition of what? Halogen. If you say what? Hydrogenation reaction, it simply means what? Addition of hydrogen. Hydrogenation. If you said hydration is addition of water. If you said what? Hydrohalogenation is the addition of hydrogen halide. So let us take this for example one after the what? Order. The first one is halogenation reaction. Halogenation. They are what? Reaction. So the halogenation reaction, like I said, what is the addition of what? Of halogen into a what? An hydrocarbon or organic what? Organic compound. If let's take this as example. Yes. Let me take this as a case of study. If I halogenate what? Alkene double bond. I'm not trying to add what? Halogen to it. Plus what? Halogen. Halogen, is what? Is called what? Halogenation reaction. So plus halogen, which is halogenation what? Reaction. The product form here, don't deceive yourself. The product form is called haloalkane. What will I call it? Halo what? Alkane. The double bond here change to what? To single bond. And in addition reaction, I forgot to add this. The hybridization of compound A here change. If hybridization here is what? Is sp2, at the end of the day, it will change to the what? sp3. But if hybridization of this compound A is what? Is sp, it will change at the end of the reaction to sp2. Please note it. So the hybridization of this alkane here is what? Is sp2 hybrid. Alkane give us what? sp3 hybrid. Let's look at what the common example of halogenation. The common, if I take what? The first member of this family, which is what? Ethene, carbon with what? Yes, this is what? We call this compound what? A what? Ethene. So when this ethene reacts with what? Halogen. Let me use chlorine. React with what? Halogen, which is what? Chlorine. And it will give us what? C double bond H. C double bond what? H. H. We have what? Cl. C what? Cl here. So if the iodine, where did I see this? Sorry. You add it to it, you have CH, H, H, Cl, Cl, H, H. So what will be the name? The name will be what? 1, 2, dichloro, and what? Ethane. And the hybridization of 1, 2 dichloroethane is what? Is sp3. This ethene is what? Is sp what? sp. Abi? And let me give you one example of what? Halogenation. If we have what? A cyclic compound of triple bond here, and I react it with what? 2 atom of what? Of bromine gas. What will be the what? The product here. We have how many what? Bromine. 4. At the end of the day, if they react together, this is what we are going to what? To end up to. Yes. You know, this is triple what? Triple bond. Abi, this his name is what? Is cyclohexane. Abi now, you can call it what? Cyclo what? Cyclohexane. So, he react with what? Bromine. So, this compound will give us what? The triple bond here will what? Will disappear. And the bromine we have here will attach to these two ends. These two what? Ends like this. We have bromine here. The second bromine here. Bromine here. We have the second bromine here. The bromine will attach the what? The bond, the 2 carbon that is contains the what? The triple bond. And this will be what? 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, tetracyclohexane. 1, 1, 2, 2, tetracyclohexane. So these are the what? The common 2 example of what? Halogenation of what? Halogenation reaction. I use one for cyclohexane, one for what? Alkene. And another what? Example of additional reaction. Let me take hydro what? Hydrogenation. No, I'll explain what this halogenation done. Yeah, hydrogenation. So let me take this hydrogenation. Let me use this sign for hydrogenation. So if I'm talking of what? Hydro what? Hydrogenation reaction. Don't forget, I've said it several times, that is simply means what? Addition of what? Of hydrogen. And this reaction take place in the presence of what? Of nickel. Take for instance, if you have alkene plus hydrogen, the catalyst here is nickel or palladium, and it will give you what? A what? Alkane. I said what? 2 compound react to form a single bond. Check. Everything we have at the reactant side is what? 2. At the product side, what do we have there? Just 1. So the hybridization of this one is sp, and this one will give us what? sp what? sp3. So the common example for this reaction, let me take what? Let me use CH2 double bond CH2 plus hydrogen. And we are using what? Nickel as catalyst here. It will give us what? CH3, CH3. Maybe so. And the name for this compound here, we call it what? Ethene. And here it will give us what? Ethane. Sorry. It give us what? A what? Ethane. All right. So that's it. Or and again, if you have what? If you hydrogenate ethyl, carbon with triple bond, and we have what? Let me write it out in word first. If we hydrogenate C, alkyne. If we hydrogenate what? Alkyne plus hydrogen in the presence of what? Of nickel, it will give you what? Alkene. So the hybridization for this alkyne we know is what? Sp. This one will be what? Sp3. It's Sp what? Sp2. So for instance now, let me take what? If you have carbon-carbon triple bond H, which is what? Carbon-carbon triple bond H, this is ethyl, react with what? With hydrogen. What is the product here? To give us what? CH2 triple double bond CH2. So this is also what? Hydrogenation reaction. And this one, this reaction, we can also advance, do it in this form. This reaction, this one, if we have what? Hydrogenate ethyl with, here we use 1 mole of hydrogen. If I use 2 mole of hydrogen here, it will directly give us what? Ethane. So from sp what? Sp hybridization to sp3 hybridization. So that is what? The illustration of what? Addition reaction of allo what? Hydrogenation. When we add hydrogen to what? To a compound. But halogenation, when you add what? Halogen to a what? To a compound. So the next one that I'm going to treat, I would like to treat now, is hydration reaction. So if you are talking of hydration reaction, it simply means what? Addition of what? Of water. So a process of adding water to a what? To an organic compound, we call it what? Hydro. We call it hydration. Abi? The process of what? Of adding water to organic compound, we call it what? Hydration. Um, yes, hydration. We have I what? Hydration reaction. What is example of hydration reaction? I said is a reaction of adding water to organic what? Organic molecule or organic compound. So that's what we call what? Hydration. Take for instance or example, and if you have a hydrate organic compound called alkene and we add what? Water to it, which is H2O, please don't disturb yourself. The product of this reaction, it will be what? Alkanol. The hydration of what? Of alkene will give us what? Alkanol. Now use a member of alkene here, CH2 double bond CH2 plus H what? H2O to give us what? CH3, CH2OH. So this compound we have here is what? Is 18. This is what? Water. Here we have ethanol. So the hydration of what? Of alkene. It will give us what? Ethanol. But if we hydrate, sorry, not hydration, if we hydrate alkyne plus what? What? H2O, water, the product of the what? The hydration of alkyne, it will give us what? Alkana. What? Alkana. But it will form an intermediate product called what? Etina or akina, which is undergo tautomerism with what? With to form aka what? Akana. That is, for this reaction, a reaction of what? Of carbon triple bond carbon ethyne plus what? H2O. It will now lead to the one we call what? Ethanol. And the ethanol is later undergo tautomerism to form eta what? Ethanol. So this is what? The example of what? Of we have ethyne. Sorry, why? Ethyne. We have water. This one is to give us what? Eta what? Ethanol. And this is what? Water. Hydration. Please don't forget the features of what? Of addition reaction. Two molecule at the reactor site give us what? One compound at the product what? Product site. Have you now? And the next one, which is what? The last of this addition reaction, we have hydrohalogen what? We have hydrohalogenation reaction. In this hydrohalogenation reaction, we have what? Addition of what? Of hydrogen halide to what? Any compound. So if you can add what? Hydrogen halide to alkene family, we can add it to the what? Alkyne family. Basically, that is what? Hydrogenation, the addition halide, we can add it to the what? To this unsaturated hydro what? Hydrocarbon. Which is hydrocarbon with double bond and a triple bond. So the last one is what? Hydrohalogenation reaction. Abi? So hydro what? Hydrohalogenation reaction. It's like this is what? The last example of what? Addition reaction I wrote on the board. So, and I said what? This hydrohalogenation means what? Addition of hydrogen what? Halide. X. This X may be chlorine or bromine on iodide. So this, for this kind of reaction, if you have what? Alkene, I said, plus hydrogen halide, the product form is also give us what? Like I've explained something related to it before now. Abi? Hydration, hydrogenation, hydrogenation, hydration, yes, I've got it. Give us what? What? Alkene. That is, if you have what? A carbon double bond A, which is a T, react with HCr. So this product for this will be what? HCA3 to H2 Cl. So the product here is what? Is ethene. Here we have what? Chloro, what? Methane. Yes. You have chloro what? Chloromethane. But in case of we are given this kind of structure, double bond plus H what? HCl. This is what? Cyclo what? The name of this compound is cyclopentane. It has how many sides? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We call it what? Cyclopentane. We add with this. At the end of the day, we have what? The double bond will what? Will disappear, and the chlorine will attach to this side, and the compound it will now give us what? We can call it the product form a chloro. Call it what? Chlorocyclopentane. Call it what? Chlorocyclopentane what? Pentane. And you can also have this. Let me add this third example to what do we call it, Jare? To allokin. If you have a compound, let me use this. For this under this example of this one, assume we have CH triple bond CH plus bro what? Plus hydrogen bromide. So what will be the product form? The product form for this reaction now is this hydrogen will come to this side, this come to this side. We have what? CH2 double bond CHBr. So the product here, it will give you what? 1 bromo, 1 bromoethene. And this one is what? Is ethyl. So that is what? The common example of what? Hydrohalogenation reaction under addition reaction. So the next aspect of type of reaction we are going to treat now is what? Is elimination reaction and rearrangement reaction. Let's look at elimination reaction. So let us treat elimination reaction. Look at elimination reaction is the inverse or reciprocal of addition reaction. So the opposite of addition reaction is what? Elimination reaction. So is the removal of what? Or let me put it this way. Is a reaction which involves the removal of atom or group of atom from adjacent carbon atom of the reactant. So elimination reaction, and so what? This is a reaction that involving the removal of atom or group of atom, group of what? Atom from adjacent carbon atom of the reactants. Of the what? Of the reactant. Or let me complete it. Of the reactant molecule. Reactant was molecule. Thereby by forming thereby forming a multiple bonds between the carbon atom. In this elimination reaction involving removal of what? Of atom or group of atom from adjacent carbon what? Atom of the reactor molecule, thereby forming a what? What is it? A double or multiple bond compound. If you are talking of elimination, what? Reaction. Elimination reaction as that is the inverse or opposite of what? Of this. At this side, we have two compounds as the what? Reactants. So we have a compound like this as a reactant as AB. So when it will now get to the what? To the product side, the A and B will separate. So we remove B from what? From A, and this A will become a double bond or a triple bond after eliminate the what? The B. And what are the example of reaction that undergo elimination reaction? Remember, I give you example of addition reaction. All addition reaction that we have, if you remember, under addition reaction we have, yes, remember, we have hydro what? We have hydrogenation reaction in what? Addition what? Reaction. Abi? We have hydrogenation reaction. We have what we call what? Hydration reaction. Abi? We have addition reaction. This hydrogenation reaction is what? Is addition of what? Of water. Abi? This one is also what? Hydrogenation reaction, addition of hydrogen. Hydration. Addition of what? Of water. Abi? And we also have what? We also have halogenation reaction, and we also have a hydrohalogenation reaction. Hydration and what? Hydrohalogenation reaction. We also have what? Halogenation reaction. If you could still remember, these are the what? Example of addition reaction I gave you that time, Abi. So just put what? D. Add what? DE to the what? To the prefix of all this reaction. If you add DE to it, this one will become what? Dehydrogenation. This one will become dehydration. This one will become what? Dehydrogenation. This one will become what? Dehalogenation. The previous DE means what? To remover. That is, you can put it here. This one means what? Remover of H2O. This one is what? Remover of what? Of water. This will be what? Remover of what? Halogen. This one is what? No? Halogenation. Hydrogen removal of hydrogen what? Halide here. This one is removal of what? Halogen. They are inverse of what we know as what? As addition reaction. So for this, let me take it one after the what? The other. The first one I wrote here is what? The hydrogenation reaction. If you are talking of the hydrogenation reaction, you know the meaning. This reaction simply means what? Removal of what? Of hydrogen from a what? From a compound. So let us remove hydrogen. If you have what? The CH3, CH3. This compound is known as what? Ethane. Use green marker. This compound is known as what? Ethane. Abi? So if the ethane is what? Is the hydrogen what? The hydrogenate. By removing hydrogen from it, it will give us what? CH2 double bond CH2 plus hydrogen. Abi? And the product here is what? Is ethene. So the hydrogenation of what? Of ethane, it will give us what? Ethene. And if we dehydrogenate this what? This ethene, CH2 double bond CH2. If we remove hydrogen from it, it will give us what? A what? Ethyne. Dehydrogenation. So the hydrogenation, you can see that what? The forward reaction here is dehydrogenation. Backward reaction is what? Is hydrogen what? Hydrogenation. This forward reaction is known as what? Elimination. The backward reaction like this is known as what? Addition reaction. So those are the two common examples of dehydration. The next one is what? Let me move towards the dehydration. So the what? Dehydration. What is dehydration reaction? Is removal of what? Removal of water. So a process of taking out water molecule from another compound is called what? Dehydration reaction. Example, we can use what? Dehydration of what? Of alkanol with the aid of what? Called H2SO4 to give us what? This. If we have alkanol like this is alkanol. If you now add what? Conc H2SO4 here. So the conc H2SO4 will dehydrate what? Alkanol to give us what? Alkene plus water. Example of alkanol, let us use what? Methanol, CH3, CH2, OH, react like this to give us what? C what? C2 double bond C2 plus H2O. And the hydrating agent we have here is conc H2SO4. And this is what? Ether what? Ethanol. And here we have a what? Ethene. So this is what? The common and good example of what? The hydrating agent. The hydrogenation reaction. Dehydrogenation reaction is a reaction that concerns with what? Removal of what? Hydrogen what? Halide. So this dehydration is the removal of what? Of water. The hydrogenation is the removal of what? Of hydrogen. So let us look at the reaction of where we can remove what? Hydrogen halide. For this reaction, let me use what? Cyclo what? benzene. This chlorocyclo what? Benzene. Abi, this chlorocyclo what? Benzene. If this cyclobenzene will do what? Will take out hydrogen halide from him, it will give us what? This cyclobenzene give us what? Cyclobenzene. Sorry, that's benzene. No. This is cyclohexane. It will now give us what? Cyclohexene. I will write the name out, don't worry. Plus H what? HC. We remove what? One hydrogen from here. This name is what we call it what? Cyclo and what? Hexane. To give us what? Cyclo. And this one is cyclohexane. Give us what? Cyclohexene. So this is what? The halogenation what? Reaction. And the last one, this is the hydrohalogenation reaction. The last one is what? The halogenation reaction. Let me write it here. If you are talking of what? The halogenation reaction, the halogenation reaction. This one is the removal of what? Of halogen, maybe chlorine or bromine or what? Iodide. So let us look at this reaction. In this reaction of we have Br CH2 yes, CH2 Br. We have this reaction. That's 1,2 dibromoethane. In the presence of dilute H what? HCl. This reaction will give us what? C2 double bond C2 plus HCl plus chlorine plus what? Bromine. Bromine. So in the presence of what? Dilute hydrogen bromide. So this is what? The process of reaction of what? Where we take out hydrogen, we take out what? Halogen family like bromine. So if it is what? 1,2 dichloroethane, if it's chloro, not bromo, the air will use what? HCl. And the product will be what? Chlorine gas and what? And ethene. Here. So the last aspect of organic reaction that we are going to treat now is rearrangement reaction. So we are done with substitution, addition, elimination. The last aspect is what? Rearrangement reaction. Or the last type of basic type of organic reaction is rearrangement reaction. The what? Rearrangement reaction. If you are talking of what? Rearrangement what? Reaction. The rearrangement reaction is the type of reaction which involve the movement of atom or molecule or bond from one atom to another within a molecule. This what? The type of reaction involve the involve the movement of an atom or group movement of what? Of an atom or group of atom, group of what? Of atom or bond. Yes, bond from one site to another within a molecule. And this kind of reaction, we can also call it what? Isomerization reaction. Yes, this is it's also called isomerization reaction. Hmm. Look at the example for this reaction. We have hmm, what is this example? Yes, ammonium cyanide. If you have what? Ammonium what? Cyanide NH4 CNO. Yes, this is ammonium what? Cyanide. The name is called what? And what? Ammonium cyanide. Right. So when this ammonium cyanide is being heated, if eat it, it will give us what? The first organic product, organic compound that is synthesized from laboratory, which is known as what? Urea. N2CO N2. Like I explained this from the introduction of organic what? Chemistry. So this is what we call what? Urea. That is Hola what? Synthesize. That disprove the vital force experiments. So you can see that it's what? In this rearrangement reaction, let me give you the basic understanding of it. If you have A plus ABC together, ABC, Abi, you can have it in what? B, C, A, B. You can see that what? This compound contains ABC, but in the product side, we have CAB, is still what? The same. The arrangement of the what? Of the element is what? Is is what? Is differ. So look at this one now. We have nitrogen here, one nitrogen, one nitrogen. Instead of H4, two H here, two H here, two. Yes, you have one nitrogen here, one nitrogen here. You have four, two. See, it's balanced. So just the arrangement of what? Of the elements. So that is what the one we have in rearrangement. As the name implies, the ammonium cyanide to give us urea. What kind of reaction is this? Is what rearrangement what? Reaction. And you can also find it in what? The reaction between a what? Alkene. If you have what? Alkene compound, A this Ne, this reaction alkene can change to the one we call what? Cyclo. What? Cycloalkane. So the conversion of alkene to cycloalkane is also a good example of what? Of rearrangement reaction. So take example for this kind of reaction. Assume we have alkene, abi? Which kind of alkene should I use here? Let me use what? CH3, CH2, CH double bond, CH double bond, CH2. Look at the compound we have here. We call it what? Butene. This is what? Butene. So if I now convert this butene to what? Convert this butene to CH2 here, CH2, another CH2, CH2. This can also be in this form. Sure. And this is what we call what? Cyclobutane. Cyclo what? Butane. So the conversion of what? Of alkane to cycloalkane is also the arrangement reaction, the same number of carbon atom and hydrogen, but in terms of arrangement, what? They are different. And the same thing, you can also have this as a case of study. If you have what? CH3, we have CH double bond CH2. And to give us what? CH2, 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 this. This is triangle. You can draw it in this form. So the structure of this compound we have here, this is what? Propene. And give us what? Cyclo, what? Propane. So these are the words, the common and good example of rearrangement reaction. So thank God we are done with what types of basic organic reaction. The next thing, see, organic reaction we have, there are many, but all others reaction, any reaction we have in organic chemistry, they are grouped under these four basic types. So let us now move to the what? A reaction mechanism, which tell us the what? The actual pathway or the actual scenario that is occur in all these reaction.